So the girls are here in the shop with me today. We have the little Ranger, and well, obviously, being that it was a old work truck, we have mud everywhere. The floor is a nice hue of brown dirt when it should be a nice clean black, and well, our seat has seen better days after almost, well, 180 some thousand miles. So we're gonna do some repairs today. What do you girls think of the inside of the Ranger right now?
Dirty and gross.
Yeah, I pretty much agree.
A ripped seat, you know?
Yeah, and we also have the Chinese deck that I had put in here, which doesn't work very good. I always have to unplug it because it sometimes just stays on for no reason, even with the key off. So we have new speakers, we have new double din Pioneer that's gonna go in this thing, and our rear speakers on this XL model have boxes, but there's no speakers in them. So while we're gonna pull the bench out, we're gonna pull the vinyl flooring out, we're gonna pressure wash it, get it all looking brand new again. We're gonna steam the seat, and I'm gonna replace that lower section over there because over there we have a brand new piece of vinyl for the seat, and we're gonna make this thing look not brand new, but better than it is now, right?
Yeah.
Also, you may have noticed we have the Dart, we have the Porsche, we have the Camaro, and the wife's Jaguar is over there as well, because it is super, super hot out, and we decided to, store some vehicles inside for a little bit. Which car is your favorite, girls?
The Porsche.
You like the Porsche?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it has a roof off.
Because it has the roof off? Does that make it special?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like the Camaro.
You like the Camaro best?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so day 2, we are working on some speakers. If you guys see in the back of the Ranger a little guy like that, and you wonder how the speaker goes in, well, there is bosses on the cover itself where the speaker goes onto. And I had to use some of my own screws because you have to use shorter ones than the ones that the Pioneer speakers come with. Otherwise, you will go through the other side. So put a little washer on there. Make sure we got some good fastening capabilities there. You can see the speaker through the mesh there a little bit. It's gonna be behind the seats. You're not really gonna see it anyways. So now I did some test fitting, and I ran my battery cable for our amplifier. It goes here, it goes behind this fuse box. There's a little grommet where the harness comes through into the cab. I was able to just cut a little slit in it, put a piece of wire through, and then fish it back in. So we have that in the cab now. You can see we have our beautiful shiny floor, and I used some detail spray on here just to kind of clean it up. But once we did the pressure wash on it, I got all the nastiness off, and just a little bit of spray, and it was pretty much brand new again. So it's a good thing about vinyl floors, and then obviously let it dry. You want to make sure the backing isn't soaked. Then we have our subwoofer here, and I did a test fit with the bench seat, and it does fit barely. So if I give up one tick of leg room on my driver's seat, I could still use the console and fold it down, and it just clears that sub. So we should be good to go, and I'm not worried about the passenger seat. That can be a little bit forward, but I don't think it's really going to be in the way. This is a shallow mount truck style subwoofer anyways. And then we have our amp, which I'm going to put there, so I have to mount it yet. And I'm running our speaker wires now for our rear speakers, and I'm going to run those along the passenger side, then up to our deck, and we should have all of our speakers wired up. I just sprayed the seat pan, had a little bit of rust on it, just because this is bare metal. And if anything spilled on there, then obviously it would start to rust. So got that treated, and we got our foam over there. I do have my hog ring tool that came in today, so we're able to do the proper rings that go into the foam for our new seat cover right there. And we get all this reinstalled. As you see, like, I had to pull the cup holders off, and then there's plastic and our little handle and everything that had to go on the side here. This is pretty much how far I had to strip it down to get it apart. I have the bolts on the bottom of the seat pan, but there's still this cable that goes underneath it, so I didn't remove it completely, but just enough so you can wiggle around and get everything where it needs to be. All right, so I am in no way, shape, or form a interior upholstery technician, but I'm always willing to learn. And I bought these hog ring pliers because these are the hog rings that you got to put. They go through this plastic rail, which is on our seat cover, and then it goes into the foam where there's an anchor built into it. You can kind of see where it's been hooked into from the factory. I had to cut the other ones out, and when you're done, you end up with that. You just want to make sure that it goes through the one on the seat cover and then through the anchor, just kind of pushes them together like that, and then everything is nicely secured. And these hog ring pliers are worth their weight in gold for this job. They're like $16, and they come with a hog ring, so Amazon, very easy. I'll throw a link in the description if you guys are interested in getting these. But yes, very simple. You just gonna want to kind of get your pliers like so, find your target, push, give it a good push, keep a little bit of tension on it, and squeeze, and you're golden. So we have a couple more to do, get this all anchored in place, and then we can take these guys and pull them around and lock them into their position, and we should have a brand new lower seat cover on this little 2007 Ranger. And just kind of see what's going to work on this. It's just from somebody's arm being on here, but you can see how nasty that is. So we're going to hit that with some glass cleaner, let that sit on there for a minute, and see if some of that will come off. Also the headrest, ugh, look at that. And that actually worked pretty surprisingly well. Look how clean that got, just from a little bit of glass cleaner and a little tiny bit of scrubbing with our rag that used to be yellow, and now it's the color of grease ball nastiness. So now we have our seat back together, no more rips, no more tears. I did have to cut a couple holes to put the bolts in for this. And if you guys are wondering how to get this off, it just pulls straight up. There's two anchor bolts, and it just kind of pushes down on top of those. So it doesn't require any tools to remove it. It's just, you have to take those out, obviously, when you do your seat cover. All right, so as far as our taillights go, these are the factory style. They're just the plain red, and they're kind of scratched up. The other side had a dent in it. I don't even know how that happens, but yeah, there's a huge dent in it and chipped up and it's kind of beat up. Kind of like the rest of the bed. But what I have over here is from Depot, these nice tinted taillights. So they weren't not that expensive. I figured just kind of give the truck a little bit more of a custom look from the back. I mean, the bed is all dented up and whatever. I'm going to try to pop some of these bigger dents out just so it's not as noticeable. I might touch up this paint a little bit, but I mean, obviously it has to stay a work truck. Otherwise there's really no point in me having it, because this is why I have it. So I don't have to beat up newer trucks. This is the one that we throw the dirty stuff in. So I just wanted to make it more livable inside, and that's kind of what we're doing here with all of this. We have our steamer ready to go. This is gross, so we're going to be cleaning it up. I vacuumed it. It was kind of like a disgusting sandwich inside that crevasse in between the two parts of the seat. And then over here, I took the cup holders off. That's what fell over here. And what we're going to be doing is, I need to steam these out because they're still pretty gross. So I've already wiped it down. And then under here is where we're going to mount this guy right here, which is our base controller for our amp. So it's going to be a nice flush mount underneath there, easy to get to, but you won't really see it. You don't have to run wires everywhere, just wire straight under the seat into the amplifier, and we'll be able to control our bass for our little 10-inch sub here. So I'm not sure if the guy that drove this truck maybe brought a cup of coffee for his passenger seat as well, but you can see over here this is what was running out of the seat when I was steaming it. I had kind of moved it over here so we could see it, but yeah, that's all what we steamed out of this already. And it looks like you could put that in a cup and drink it pretty near. I did get a lot of it out. There's still a little bit in there, but we'll hit it a couple more times and hopefully we can at least get it livable. I mean, now it's probably good enough, but yeah, there's just so much in that foam already, and it takes a lot to clean that stuff out, especially when it's been saturated over all these years. Then we have the Sylvania reverse lights as well. So now we can actually hopefully see when we're backing up, because those incandescents definitely weren't cutting it. We have both sides complete, and I think it really makes the back end of this truck look a whole lot better than an old work truck. So let's get the truck outside, give you guys a little better view of everything in the interior, how it looks, and if you guys want to do this to your truck, what your results can really look like, because I think it was worth it. It was just a lot of time because every panel needed to be wiped down, cleaned, conditioned, all that. It just takes time, but when you sit in this truck now, it's like being in a new truck. It's not being in an old, dirty, disgusting truck that it used to be. So let's get it outside and have a better look at it. So there it is, everybody, another stage in our little Ranger project, just kind of our shop truck, clean up stuff that I was doing anyway, and just making an old vehicle as good as you possibly can with generally cheap things and just stuff we had laying around. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down.